Hey, so if you're learning Portuguese, I'm sure you know that verbs can feel like the final boss of the language, right? Well, not for much longer. In this breakdown, we are going to completely demystify them. Let's get right into it.
Does this look at all familiar? You know, this feeling of staring at a giant, chaotic puzzle with a million tiny pieces that just don't seem to fit together? That is exactly how so many people feel about Portuguese verbs. They just seem overwhelmingly complex at first.
But here's the secret. It's not chaos at all. It's actually a system. And we're going to build our understanding of that system together, piece by logical piece. Seriously, by the end of this, you're going to see the pattern behind the whole puzzle.
Okay, so first things first. What even is a verb? The best way to think about it is as the engine of a sentence. Without that engine, the sentence literally goes nowhere. It's the one word that provides all the power and all the action.
So a verb's job is basically one of a few key things. It can show an action, like correr, to run. It can show a state of being, like ser, to be. Or it can describe something happening in nature, like llover, to rain. At its core, it's always the doing or the being word in a sentence.
All right, let's grab our next piece of the puzzle. And here's some really good news. Almost every single verb in Portuguese belongs to one of just 3 main families. And once you know the family, you've got a massive clue about how that verb is going to behave. And check out how simple it is to tell them apart. You just look at the last 2 letters of the verb in its most basic form. If it ends in R, it's in the first family, like falar. If it's it's in the second, like correr. And if it ends in ir, you guessed it, it's in the third family, like partir. That's it. That's the first big pattern you need to know. Now, before we start changing these verbs to fit into a sentence, they exist in these 3 raw states. You can think of them like your basic ingredients before you start cooking. The infinitive, which ends in R, is just the name of the verb, like falar. The gerund, ending in endo, shows an ongoing action, like falando or speaking. And the participle, usually ending in ado or ido, is what you'll often use to build other tenses, like falado, which means spoken. Okay, now for a really cool concept, mood. And this has nothing to do with a verb feeling happy or sad. It's all about the speaker's intention. Are you stating a cold, hard fact? Are you talking about a what-if scenario? Or are you giving someone an order? The mood of the verb tells us exactly that. So here's the breakdown. The indicative mood is your go-to for anything that's a certainty or a fact. The subjunctive, well, that's the world of doubt, hypotheticals, wishes, all that what-if stuff. And finally, the imperative is for when you need to tell someone what to do, whether it's the command or just a friendly request. So, certainty, doubt, or command. Let's see it in action. It makes so much more sense. Eu falo inglês. I speak English. See that? That's the indicative mood. It's a simple, direct, confident statement of fact. There is zero doubt happening here. But now, watch what happens. Se eu falasse inglês. If I spoke English. Now we've jumped into the subjunctive mood. This isn't a reality anymore. It's a hypothetical situation, a possibility we're thinking about. The verb ending itself is the signal that we've shifted from fact to what if. And the last one, fale inglês para ver. Speak English so I can see. Now, this isn't a fact, and it's not a hypothesis. It's a direct command. We've switched over to the imperative mood. The intention is crystal clear. You are being told to do something. So, we've got our verb families, and we know about their different moods or intentions. The next logical step is to place them on a timeline, and that is what we call tense. Is this action happening right now? Did it already happen? Or is it going to happen in the future?
Now, what's really interesting here in the indicative, our mood of certainty, is how it handles the past. So the present is easy. Falo, I speak. The future is pretty straightforward too. Falaré, I will speak. But the past has this cool nuance. Falei means I spoke. It's a completed, one-and-done action. But falava is more like I used to speak or I was speaking. It describes something that was ongoing or a habit in the past. That's a really important difference.
And of course, the subjunctive also travels through time, but it always keeps that shadow of doubt or uncertainty. Que eu fale is like a present wish, that I may speak. Se eu falasse is that past what if I spoke. And quando eu falar is about a future possibility, when I speak. You see, the tense just helps place the uncertainty on the timeline.
Okay, let's look at our next concept, voice. I want you to imagine you're a movie director filming a scene. Where do you point the camera? Are you focusing on the person doing the action or on the person or thing receiving it? Well, that's exactly what a verb's voice does in a sentence. This right here is the active voice. It's our default setting, the one we use most of the time because it's so direct and clear. The camera is pointed right at the subject who's doing the thing. He commented on the work. Simple, right? He did the commenting.
But watch this cool trick. We can shift the focus. The sentence can become O trabalho foi comentado por ele. The work was commented on by him. Now we're in the passive voice. The camera has panned over to the thing that received the action. The work is now the star of the sentence, even though it didn't actually do anything.
And there's one more camera angle, the reflexive voice. This is for when the camera is on a subject who does something to themselves. O garoto cortou-se. The boy cut himself. The action of cutting just folds right back onto the person who started it.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot. Families, moods, tenses, and voices. So, let's put some of this together for a super practical, real-world skill, telling people what to do. It is time to build the imperative mood.
And check out this simple hack. To give a command to, the informal you, all you have to do is take the regular present tense form, in this case, to falas, and you just chop off the final S. That is literally it. Falas becomes fala. You already knew the first form, and now you have the command.
But wait, it actually gets even better. If you thought that was easy, the good news is that telling someone not to do something, the negative imperative, is even more straightforward.
And here's the key. The negative imperative doesn't make you learn brand new forms. It just borrows them directly from the present subjunctive. You just put now or not right in front of the subjunctive form you've already learned. There are no new rules to memorize here. It's an incredibly efficient system.
And there you have it, the Portuguese verb puzzle, all assembled, piece by piece. It's not just a random collection of endings, is it? It's a logical system of families, intentions, and timelines. So, now that you know how to give a command in Portuguese, what's the first thing you're going to ask for?